Hello everybody. Hope you're having a good week. I am so sorry that this video is getting out as late as it is, but let me tell you why. As I mentioned before, I'm a singer. I'm doing my master's at the University of Ottawa, and I was supposed to have my graduating recital on Saturday night. I woke up after my dress rehearsal and I had half of my voice, if that. I could speak, not very high, and I definitely could not sing. So I was freaking out and I stressed with this. I could write a book on how stressful it is as a singer when you lose your voice because you feel like a limb has been completely chopped off. If artistry is part of your identity, then singing is like your entire being. And without your voice, even just not being able to hold a note for a minute feels like your entire sense of being is just thrown off. So I was kind of somewhat depressed. My boyfriend had to deal with me being an emotional wreck all day, and I went back and forth over whether or not I was actually going to even be able to perform my recital. And on the day of, I realized that there's no way I was going to be able to sing. So I had to postpone it. Now I'm kind of stuck in Ottawa waiting to finish this degree and get it done. And of course my voice is back the day after I actually need it. Life of a singer. So in any case, that was a really stressful week. So that's why this video didn't get out when it was supposed to. But we're here now. And true to the vein of everything I've just been talking about, today's topic is that of what we think that our respective art forms and communities really need to start considering in order to survive and thrive. I am in an art form that has been quoted as being that of a dying art form. And I hate that term, but it is something that we need to really consider why people think that and what can we do to change that.
What would I say about the industry?
I think we need to just create more outlets for people to perform.
There just needs to be more resources for it, more resources for those that want to perform it, and more resources that are accessible for people to go and see it.
I think opera gets a bad rep that it's, fat lady in a horned rimmed helmet thing screaming notes. So I think that it's our job to introduce people to productions and music that we know they would like, because there's tons of composers with different sounds, like there is tons of different pop singers, and you don't like all of them.
I think right now it's hard to pinpoint what exactly is wrong, just because there's so many subdivisions of, at least in terms of visual arts, there's so many subdivisions there. You have graphics design, you have motion graphics, you have animation, you have 2D animation, illustration, abstract illustration. There's countless variants. But I guess the main problem with all of them, and I wouldn't know too well because I haven't really broken into the industry yet, I think the main problem there is just an accessibility thing for a lot of people.
More festivals, more events where we're hiring dancers, and really getting the art form out there.
If you haven't gone to school for that specific thing, you'll have a harder time getting in there, just because, on paper, having that degree or that focus of study helps you a lot getting into the door. But then on the flip side, it also comes down to a money issue too, right? If you can't afford to go to that school, or you can't afford to take on the debt to get in there, then you end up kind of being limited in a sense.
And I also think that we have to break down the stigma of it being for rich people or fancy people, and do more things like opera in pubs and opera in parks, and try to find some type of a crossover between the classical history and rules and regulations with this art form, and mix it with this new generation that everything's flashy, everything's new, blurring lines. We just have to re-innovate it and find something that appeals to younger audiences.
The next thing I believe that dance needs to thrive, and this is a tricky one, because who hasn't taken a job for free when you're young and starting out your career? But we really need to, as artists, start asking what we're worth. When we're getting jobs, when we're doing jobs, we need to ask what we're worth, know our value. You trust all the other professionals in your life, your dentists, your doctors, all those people to take care of you. Whatever it is they do, they get paid an amount of money because they train to do that kind of thing. And artists have trained their whole lives to do what they do as well.
And although there are things like OSAP and grants that can help ease that burden, it doesn't make it any less intimidating for somebody to take on that kind of load and not really know where they're going to end up after they're done.
In order for us to thrive and be able to make a sustainable living off of it, artists need to start asking what they're worth, because when we take jobs for free, that's all people are ever going to want to put out for it. That's all people are going to want to pay for it. But the arts are real successful jobs that need to be, these are people that need to eat, that need to put them, they live in a house, we have to, basic needs that we have to take care of just like anybody else. So those are the two things I would say that dance definitely needs to survive and thrive, and just art in general, more art.
Aside from that, there just needs to be more of a focus on spreading it around. I think in terms of accessibility in a city like Hamilton, at least, Hamilton's still growing, but it's experiencing a huge cultural shift. The arts are making a big comeback here. And I would say that right now that's probably prime time for any artist looking to get into the industry and to make a name for themselves.
There needs to be this sense of community where we encourage the creative process, and we also help teach others that creative process and how to perform and how to analyze certain pieces of work and art.
And we just need to see more places where you can go and contribute that, either some kind of venue or for lessons or like a festival of some sort. We have a lot of them already with Fringe Festival and with Super Crawl and Art Crawl. But I think with a little more time, in a few more years, we'll probably see something really exciting there. And that's, I don't know, that's something good to look forward to.
So I hope you enjoy what other people had to say about their art forms, and thanks again for watching so much. We really appreciate it. It's been so nice hearing back from people saying like, "Well, I love your channel. It's so interesting. It's really nice to know what it's like to be an artist from actual artists." So please keep liking and subscribing and sharing, and let me know what other questions you have. We're going to be featuring some other artists on here pretty soon, so stay tuned for that, and enjoy the rest of it. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.